The National Stadium tonight, the stage is set, the scenes around us here on Thursday evening with the fans right behind the gantry. They were going mental. Let's hope more of the same tonight. So let's sit back and enjoy this one. Scotland against Belarus in their World Cup qualifier with Willie Miller, Billy Dodds, Michael Stewart and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. After the euphoria of victory over Greece, Scotland need to ensure they take care of business here this evening against Belarus. It's a record-breaking match for Steve Clarke, taking charge of Scotland for a 72nd time. And a win tonight also equals Craig Brown's tally of 32 victories and would take the country that bit closer to a return to the World Cup. And what a long wait that has been. The two sides just about to get the team photo taken. Scotland all in navy once more as they were on Thursday night in that incredible victory in so many ways against Greece. And Belarus, the visitors here tonight, all in lime green, as the two captains, Andy Robertson, of course, of Scotland, and Alexander Martinovic, the 38-year-old veteran defender, are on the centre line with the coin toss of the referee as we prepare to get underway. And certainly we're hoping for a faster start, a better opening to the game than we got against the Greeks when Scotland were pretty insipid for the best part of an hour, and it really took the Greek goal to fire the Scots into action. But once they got going, 3 goals, never to be sniffed at if you're a Scotland fan. 5 changes from that game, as I mentioned earlier. Ralston, Hendry, McKenna, McLean and Gilmour are in for the injured Hickey, the suspended Christian Ferguson, with Suter and Hanley taking a place on the bench. It will be Belarus then to kick us off, and it's Valery Gromyko, the Kaira Almaty teammate of the captain Alexander Martinovic, who will get us underway. Scotland will go from left to right as we look at it from the back of the main stand here, high up in the south stand at Hampden, as the referee, the Romanian, blows his first whistle, and it's back to Martinovic, who launches it long into Scotland territory, and the first aerial battle is won by Barkowski, who will pick up the second ball again and try and make something of it here in the early stages. And it's going to be a Belarus throw-in down near the corner flag. Gannon Doak looks like he's started this game on the right-hand side, but he's back doing the defending for the moment as Belarus get an early throw which they've taken short, and Gannon Doak again gets the challenge in and knocks it out of play down on this near side, about 10 yards this time from the corner flag. It's Peshanin who gets it back once more, and then Belarus will try and knock it into the box. It's Kenny McLean this time in the way, and it'll come back out to the left-hand side, and that's not a bad ball towards the back post. Robertson's clearing header isn't a particularly effective one, and Belarus have it on the right-hand side of the box. Robertson this time blocks the cross that was attempted by Pigas, but Belarus have got Scotland hemmed in this opening 60 seconds. Starting on the front foot as the Greeks did, as Scotland look to try and clear their lines here from this long throw, and it comes in from the right-hand side this time. They haven't managed to get it clear, but the block comes in, I think, from McLean at the edge of the box, and now Gannon Doak gets the break of the ball in this right-hand side, forgets to take the ball with him momentarily, and then goes back to Ralston, who plays it to Hendry, and now the Scots can enjoy the first period of possession here, and it's Robertson out to the left where McGinn has begun the game. Up against Pigas, he's fouled by him, and Scotland get the free kick right out on the touchline on the far side. What do you make, Mikey, of Gannon Doak starting right-hand side, McGinn on the left?
I'm fine with it. I don't have an issue per se. I'm just looking more at the makeup of the Scotland midfield, and it looks to me like it is a 4-1-4-1. He's got Billy Gilmour and Scott McTominay ahead of Kenny McLean. You heard the manager there before saying about Gilmour getting on the ball and dictating, and he did say higher up the park. I'm not sure about it, to be perfectly honest. Not that I don't want him on the ball higher up the park, but I want him getting on the ball first and foremost to start things off.
I think it's easier to get on the ball, is it not, when you're playing that little bit deeper?
Yep.
I would suggest, and it's better for him in terms of taking his touch and his first touch forward, and you know, being able to pass forward too. But you're right, I mean, he's well up the pitch.
Yeah, Belarus are enjoying the better of the possession in these early stages, as it's not back by Zavalin to Parmakenko, and out to the right hand side to Martinovic, who's the right hand side of the three centre backs. And Belarus looking to try and get a first point on the board in the campaign, as it's played up towards Barkowski. He holds it up on the right hand side and then rolls it back into the midfield. Belarus starting brightly, and that's switched. Ralston gets the header in, but it might fall here on the edge of the box. Unfortunately for Scotland, Malashevich couldn't take that in his stride, but it has been a bit of a nervy opening actually from Scotland for one reason or another.
Flat. Simple. Flat, no real energy. You could see when Belarus did have the ball at the defensive third, we weren't particularly bright in shutting them down.
Here's McKenna out to the left hand side for Robertson on the halfway line. It's Gilmour going back the way to McKenna. He's forced to backpedal there and then just knocks it into Angus Gunn, who made that magnificent save from Karetsas to keep the score at 2-1. How crucial that turned out to be. And he didn't have all that, despite Greece's dominance of large parts of the game, he didn't have all that much else to do in the game, Angus Gunn, but what he did it well. Here's Ganondorf right hand side, 10 yards inside Belarus half. It goes back to Ralston, and now it's back with Hendry, who's seen precious little action. Certainly this is his first of the campaign, as Robertson now gets it into the middle, but it's beyond Shea Adams and there's no one else in the box for Scotland, and it's comfortably gathered by Fyodor Lapikov, the 22-year-old goalkeeper.
He was good and hungry, I've got to say. In the first leg he was actually not bad, the goalkeeper Lapikov.
And he's released Peshanin here on the left hand side up against his opposite number, Anthony Ralston. Two number twos up against each other there. Scotland clear up to Ganondorf. He'll go and chase the 1-2, and his pace is electrifying. McGinn's trying to get into the box. There's no one else to aim for at the moment. Adams is trying to make it. Ganondorf tries to squeeze it into him. Might yet fall for McGinn, who takes a poor touch, and Belarus pick up. But the first sign there, I mean, Shea Adams put the ball just into a space, and Ganondorf just took off, and he was there comfortably ahead of the Belarus defender. Absolutely.
Keep doing it. Just put it in front of the youngster and allow him to gallop forward.
But it's Belarus coming forward again here into the Scotland area. Mopping up there was Ralston. Back to Gunn. He plays it into the feet there of McKenna, who just knocks it forward for Gilmour. Gilmour just touches that off to John McGinn. We played 5.5 minutes, no goals. Here's Hendry, who's start against Liechtenstein in the June friendly. It was his first appearance since playing it against Hungary in the Euros. That's how little he's played for Scotland, as Willie pointed out earlier. He turns up consistently at getting his reward for that here this evening, as Ganondorf fouls his man, and Belarus will have a free kick. But, I don't really want to allow Belarus to begin to gain in confidence here. There's such a lot of positivity developing about Scotland's hopes of reaching the World Cup, but cannot take a victory for granted here against Belarus just yet. As McKenna wins the header, knocks it down to Robertson, who just drops the shoulder and moves away from his marker. And now it's Gilmour, left hand side, midway inside the Belarus half, twists away from his marker. At least he tried to, but he's robbed the possession, and Belarus could try and break here now. Barkowski looks well offside, but play is going to develop. Glance to Billy to my left, and he says he doesn't think he is, as it's rolled across the box and turned behind. It will be a corner. Well, maybe Billy got that right, watching on from the gantry here, but it was a very similar move to the one that Greece had early on. On this occasion there wasn't a tapping at the back post because there was no one waiting there, but I mean, Belarus are finding gaps in the Scotland defence. 7 minutes in, 0-0.
We're very open though, aren't we? I think the timing of the run was really good. Barkowski getting into a position where he really shouldn't be able to get into. I think is it Ralston that's pushed away forward as well, and that's a really dangerous ball across the face of the goal as well, and it had to be dealt with, and a little clip out from Scott McKenna to give away the corner. So signs there that Scotland have got to be tighter at the back.
And comes a corner from the right hand side. It's well taken in the end by Gunn, as Zabeline got his head to it. It was a kind of looping header towards goal, and no real test for Angus Gunn as John McGinn has gone down inside the penalty area, but up he gets, and play resumes with McTominay. But Scotland have really yet to spark into life here with almost 8 minutes on the clock. Here's McKenna bringing it up towards the halfway line. Robertson's well advanced and takes a good touch. Advances up towards the edge of the penalty area, looking to hit the byline here, then tries to cut it back, so he's well blocked there, and Belarus pick up possession. It's Martinovic knocking it up towards the halfway line. Hendry was there, but Barkowski will just allow that to roll out for a throw-in over on the far side to Belarus, just inside their own half. Yeah, it's all going a little bit quiet inside Hampden. The fans, Kenny was saying, it's a kind of buzz about the place pre-match, but Scotland have taken that out of their own supporters with the start they've made.
Yeah, we've not really been able to create anything. You know, been little signs, particularly down the left-hand side with Andy Robertson. But, you know, his crosses into the box have been poor, and he's been hitting the first defender as well. So still to kind of a spark any reaction from the fans.
Malashevich into the area. Hendry's clearance fell for Jablonski at the edge of the box. His shot might well have been on target, takes a big deflection and goes behind for another Belarus corner. 9 minutes in, Scotland 0, Belarus 0. This is not what most of us had in mind for the opening stages of this game, as Gromyko will go out to that far side and take this corner. Quite surprised he didn't. He was unused completely against Denmark. Came on in the previous game against Scotland, but he looked decent when I saw him for Kairat Almaty against Celtic. Here he is with a corner kick. The left-footed player on the right-hand side will curl it in towards the back post. A couple of big defenders up there, and I think it came off Hendry, and it will go behind for another corner, this time on the left-hand side, as both Parkamenko and Martinovic tried to make something of it for Belarus.
They've got a fair bit of height as well, haven't they, the visitors? You know, you've got to make sure that these tall players are tightly marked. It's about the delivery into the box as well. Been decent deliveries into the box, and we've defended it well so far. Yeah,
well, let's hope that continues as Gromyko with the left foot tries the outswinger this time from the left-hand side. The header comes in, it's over the top this time from Parkamenko, but again, home fans trying to rouse their team from their slumbers here, Mikey. It's not been a positive start by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's been slow, it's been pedestrian. They're pressing us, forcing us to kick it long there. It's disjointed. I think there's a nervousness in the performance so far. Just, yeah, it's not what any of us were looking for or hoping for.
Loose balls picked up by Gilmour, feeds it through for Adams. Borderline offside. Play continues into the penalty area. He comes, tries to beat the keeper at his near post, and it will be a corner to the deflection. No flag for offside, so it will be a Scotland corner. And the first real attempt by any Scotland player comes from Shea Adams, who got that opener out in Hungary against Belarus shortly before half-time. And now the Tartan Army, as we see a replay which shows that Adams again did time his run well, and so Scotland get this corner kick from the left-hand side, played in by Gilmour, right on top of the keeper, who punches clear. It's a good emphatic punch, and Ralston will go and gather. He's under a bit of pressure here, and he sends it all the way back to Angus Gunn under the press from Malashevich. Now it's Gunn just outside his penalty area, launches that back into Belarusian territory, flicked on nicely by McTominay. Now it's Adams, lifts it out to the left-hand side where Gannon Doak will gather. Picks up near the corner flag. He'll roll it back to Andy Robertson. He's got time to take a touch here. Then he tries to get it in, but Barkowski, to be fair, quickly closed him down.
Yeah, but I think it was their first time. Yeah. You know, Gannon Doak laid it back, and it was weighted well enough. I felt as if Andy Robertson could have just wrapped his left boot round it first time.
Here's McGinn picking up on Robertson's pass down the left-hand side. His cross is cut out, and it'll be another Scotland corner. 12 minutes in, no goals, but a bit better from Scotland.
Oh, definitely better, but you know, Mikey's right. you actually don't have to look when that's rolled back to Andy Robertson. You know, he just has to whip it into an area. You know, he doesn't need to pick anybody out. Just make it difficult to defend, and you know, hope that you've got your strikers and maybe midfield players as well making the decent runs into the box.
So Gilmour will try again from the left-hand side for Scotland. This one's a near post ball, but it's comfortably defended out to the edge of the box. Gannon Doak is beaten in the jump, and Belarus pick up and will try and spring the counter as Malashevich picks up on the right-hand side. Up against Robertson, he feeds it forwards. Too much in the pass though, and Gunn will gather. The Nottingham Forest squad keeper yet to feature for them. There's McLean now. Oh, it's nice play from McGinn. He's then held up.
Fortunate, I would suggest.
Yeah, maybe, but it looked good. But he was then his progress was halted. And now Scotland pick up on the right-hand side, and it's Ralston clipping that. It's a nice ball for Adams. Adams with a good first touch. He needs support. Scotland are so slow to get in and support, and eventually just runs into the defender, and it's out for a throw-in. It was a lovely ball from Ralston, clipped into the channel. Adams took a good touch, but there was no Scotland player within 20 yards of him.
Yeah, but he's inside the box. He's 1v1 against the defender. You know, I think as soon as you realise that you're up there on your own, I think the opportunity is a nice run, drops his shoulder, gets him behind. He gets a good touch here, face the defender up, quick, you know, get a second touch, face him up, drop the shoulder and get a strike on goal. That's what I would be thinking, you know, as you're looking at that setup, because you're right, there wasn't any support.
Here's McTominay back out to Ralston, just outside the area. Gilmour back to Ralston, right hand side. Gilmour once more midway inside the Belarus half. Bit better from Scotland in the last few minutes.
Yeah, but see when he's picking the ball up in those little angles there on the corner of the box, you need somebody on the edge of the box to fire it into. We've ended up going round the other end, which, okay, we've kept possession, but he's now in a similar position on the other side of the park. You pick the ball up there, you need somebody on the edge of the box to fire it into their feet, and you can play off.
Gilmour clips it in, but it's comfortably headed clear by Parkamenko. It comes to McTominay. Adams now. Can he get a shot in here? Goal! Offside! Oh, it was wonderfully finished by Shea Adams on the left foot. It'll be a borderline decision. It might yet count. But the flag immediately went up to deny Shea Adams in the first instance. But let's wait on VAR to conclude on that one. But it was a terrific finish after McTominay had fed it into him at the edge of the box. He fired it into the bottom corner, but the flag comes up. Let's see.
It's a very good finish. It's Jack Hendry that plays it into him, but it's a very good finish. Good take, turn. It's the initial ball into the box where he's offside. He's a little bit slower to get back in, but he's onside. He's onside.
Yeah, there's a bit there. Yeah,
100% he's onside there. That's it, 1-0. Great finish. Really good finish with the left boot into the bottom corner from Che Adams there. There's no question that is a goal.
No. It was a fabulous touch, wasn't it? And turn as well, an instinctive strike, and well away for the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper having no chance whatsoever as it was drilled along the ground into the far corner.
Well, certainly the flag went straight up, but it looks, when we're looking at the replays, that there's the right wing back, Vadim Pigas, I think it is, who's just deep enough to play Shea Adams onside, and it's going to be given. It is given. It's Scotland 1, Belarus 0, and Shea Adams, as he did out in Hungary, gives Scotland a lead against Belarus. And the Scots lead after a pretty pedestrian start, but they've made the breakthrough. Scotland 1, Belarus 0.
And it's early enough, you know, you're only about 15 minutes into the game. Brilliant, very, very good. Great finish for Adams. And by the way, I don't think it's a horrendous decision for the linesman to flag him offside, because he's on the other side of Che Adams. It's obviously the Scotland striker's the one that he sees first.
It's a boot as well, isn't it, really?
Yes.
I think the wing back, it's not the body, just his boot seems to be, as he's taken off.
Trying to get out, isn't he?
Desperately. But what a strike. Listen, Che Adams, his movement's been pretty good. He hasn't had too much support, but that was a top quality finish.
Yeah, but Mikey pointed out it was actually Jack Hendry. I thought it was McTominay initially who fired the ball in, but that's one of the many things that Jack Hendry gives you. He's got that ability to fire those types of passes in. And Adams took a great first touch.
He's good on the ball. He's good on the ball, there's no doubt. But listen to the crowd now, 1-0 up. They've got to keep riding the momentum and the atmosphere that's generated there.
5 goals in his last 5 Scotland internationals for Shea Adams, his 11th all told, and he justifies
he's the man.
His selection. Indeed.
Whoever doubted it?
Where was the debate in that? But he is the man who's put Scotland ahead here. 17 and a half played now after that delay in verifying that he was onside. As now he fires the ball back to Ralston on the halfway line. Now out to right hand side. He was looking for Gannon Doe. It's a poor ball though from Ralston, his former Celtic teammate. And Belarus pick up on the left hand side. It's clipped forward looking for Peshanin, the left wing back, to come forward, but Jack Hendry also he's got a good turn of pace, and he gets there first and knocks it back to Gunn. And now it's Ralston who's starting yet again for his country. Enjoyed a terrific run in the team when Aaron Hickey was out injured. He started 12 in a row at one stage, and finds himself back in the starting lineup tonight as McKenna plays it into Gilmore. Let's see if Scotland can add a few more. That would be terrific. It's quite rare that Scotland rack up the goals, but as I was saying to Steve Clark yesterday in the interview, with them, goal difference could really prove a crucial factor at the end of the qualification campaign. It could be the difference between qualifying automatically and having to go through a playoff. It could even be the difference between getting to the playoff and not, although hopefully maybe even by the end of this evening Scotland could have guaranteed themselves a place at worst in the playoff. That will be the scenario if they win here tonight and then Denmark beat Greece later on in Copenhagen. Here's Gromyko for Belarus. We've played 19 minutes. It's 1-0 Scotland. Shea Adams just a few minutes ago with a fabulous finish to put Scotland in front after Belarus had started probably the better of the two sides. Certainly the opening 10 minutes Scotland had begun to play their way back into it and then get the goal, which should give them further confidence. Got a good illustration just the way things are set up at the moment of the 4-1-4-1 that the guys were talking about, with Kenny McLean, that sitting midfielder, as the ball's turned back to Angus Gunn by Ralston, and then Gunn sends it up in the direction of Adams. It's in the end it's Martinovic who gets the header. Kenny McLean's up on the second ball. Belarus then win it. Well, the free kick eventually goes Belarus's way as Maxi Bong just decided for himself that it was going to be a free kick in the middle of the park. And now Belarus have it at the back. It is Martinovic taking it off Parkamenko, and now the other central defender Zabalin into Gromyko, and now Ebong just inside his own half, just outside the centre circle, just rolls it back to Parkamenko. Zabalin back to Parkamenko once again, and he plays it back to the goalkeeper Lapukov, already beaten, had no chance of stopping that Shea Adams effort a few minutes ago, right into the bottom corner of the net. Scotland win the ball back, and it's Robertson who makes his 88th appearance for his country, and every chance, especially if Scotland were to qualify for the World Cup, every chance he can go on and break Kenny Dalglish's record. Jim Leighton's the next one he's got to catch. He's only now 3 caps beyond him.
I just wonder sometimes why we don't, as a side, when the ball's going at the middle of the park there, why we're bothering looking to play a couple of 3-4 extra passes in the middle of the park. As a midfielder, drop your shoulder and hit this man.
Here he is, Gannon Doak on the right hand side. Oh, he's just stepped away from the defender. Now can he pick out a pass? Oh, he's put it into the side netting as Parkamenko came across and pretty much put him off at the end, but he so easily got the better of Zabalin as he ran at him into the box, and with a better final ball, Scotland could have been 2 ahead. As it is 1-0, 21 and a half played.
It's a good ball from McTominay down the line, but what I'm saying is there's controlled possession there. The ball comes into the middle of the park, and there's a few that are not guilty of it, they're just keeping possession, but where Ben Doak is on the park, where their defensive line is. You've got literally probably a 40-yard box that you can drop the ball into. Just knock it over the head of Zabalin and allow him to go and run. Just open his legs. It's not a difficult ball. Like even here with Kenny McLean, just play the crossfield pass, hit the ball in behind.
They've gone left hand side, and Robertson plays it forward looking for McTominay, who stumbles. It was just a little nudge I don't think it was nearly enough to merit anything.
It was actually him that was nudging his opponent, and he went down. He was just off balance.
Anyway, Belarus pick up and mount an attack of their own, and it's played into Gromyko midway inside the Scotland half. Hendry backing off him up towards the edge of the box. A poor pass though from Gromyko. McLean was half sleeping there though, and Gromyko gets it back off him. And now it's Zambolin 10 yards inside the Scotland half. Just goes back to Parkamenko and out to the right hand side to Martinovic. Into Ebong in the centre of the park, tracked by Gilmore. Now it's Martinovic again, and Max Ebong picks up once more. Tries to spin away from Gilmore, has to go back to Parkamenko. Just beyond the midway point in this first period. Scotland leading by a goal to nil. You're listening to Sports Sound in this match day 4 of the World Cup qualifying campaign. Scotland looking to make it 10 points from 12 if they can hold on to victory, or indeed make it a more handsome one, as Ralston gets it to Gannon-Doak right hand side, and again a little bit of trickery leaves Gromyko on his backside. Gannon-Doak up to the edge of the box, into the feet of McTominay. McTominay just rolls it back to him, tries the first time ball in, comes off Pechanin, and out for a throw in on this near side to Scotland, midway inside the Belarus half.
I mean, look, I understand at times when for Tony Ralston there, he's playing the ball, he's still got that forward momentum, he wants to support and join in, but I just simplify it with Gannon-Doak. I just think you give him the ball, you let him run, give him space, don't look to close that area that he's in.
He just needs to concentrate a little bit. A couple of opportunities he's had there to deliver the ball into the box. The first one in particular, where he did do really well. Zabelin struggling to cope with the pace, but then the quality of the cross is poor. It goes into side netting, and then in that occasion he kind of snatches at it a little bit when the opportunity's there to really put a telling pass into the box.
Ralston right hand side sends it into the area, but it's easily defended by Parkamenko, and knocked out for another throw in just a little bit deeper in the Belarus half than the previous one, a bit further back the park I should say, as Ralston prepares to take it once more. Adams comes and offers himself, and it goes to him. He just immediately...
That's it. Did you see that, what he's just done there? That in open play is exactly what you're looking to do as well, and it almost comes off. You're just looking to turn them and utilise the pace of Ben Gannon-Doak. That's good play there for me from Che Adams. That's sensible play in a tighter area. Sometimes you've got space in the middle of the park and you've actually got more opportunity to lift your head. Just drop the ball over the fullback's head.
Didn't quite come off in the end, but it's certainly a fair point, as McKenna does well there to win possession and drive Scotland forward now on the left hand side. A little bit of a breakdown in communication, but McGinn still has it for Scotland, just trying to get the ball under control, and he's just given himself too much to do there, and Belarus recover through Martinovic.
See, because there's another example. I think actually Gannon-Doak, there's almost an element, and Willie's on this, just a little bit of concentration. I don't think he's engaged in the game either yet, because that is a chance there where turnover, space, he should instantly be on his bike making that offer to go in behind, because for Scott McKenna, I don't think there should be anything else in his mind, thinking where's the space, where's the opportunity to go and open up and hit them with a crossfield pass. Scott McKenna's capable of that. It was probably a 60-yard pass. How are we going to hurt the opposition? That is one weapon I just don't think we're utilising well enough.
Gromyko picks up after a slap pass from Ralston. Barkowski lets it run, and it's Malashevich trying his luck from fully 30-odd yards, but he's well off target, hence the ironic jeers from the Tartan Army. But 26 played, Scotland leading by a goal to nil. It's certainly not been a classic performance as yet, but the Scots do have the goal they craved early on through Che Adams, as Hendry now clips it forward.
It's an important goal as well, isn't it? You get one so early. I don't think Scotland really dominated possession. Belarus have been pretty good, to be honest, keeping the ball and making little runs, and actually I think that's probably their first shot and goal as well. It was a weak one, easily taken by Gunning goals, but it's not been a dominating performance from Scotland, but they've got that vital first goal.
Here's Kenny McLean into the feet of McTominay on the halfway line, spins to his right and plays it to Ralston. Ralston out to Gannon-Doak, who's hugging the touchline. He's up against the left centre back Zabeline once more. This time he comes back the way McKenna, recycles it out to the left hand side to Robertson, infield to Gilmore, and back to McKenna once more just inside the Belarus half. Leaves it to Gilmore, who just rolls it back to Hendry inside the centre circle, and then to Ralston. Ralston clips it out to that left hand side for Robertson. Good first touch from Robertson, and then plays it in looking for McGinn, who tried to spin away from his marker. Eventually comes back into the Belarus box, but Adams can't get there. McLean just out muscling Gromyko there, who I think was looking for a free kick, which doesn't come. Gilmore touches it back to McLean. McLean almost overdoing it. I think he was caught there by Gromyko, but play continues with Scotland in possession. Ralston tries to lift it over the top for Gannon Doak. Up against Zabeline again. Again he leaves him standing. Gannon Doak cuts it back, but just couldn't pick out McTominay as he was trying to do, and Belarus got a toe in to knock it away. But again, I mean, it's far from rocket science, isn't it? Every time Gannon Doak gets the ball, he's got the beating of the Zabeline easily.
Zabeline, big tall defender. He's up against Gannon Doak every time Gannon Doak gets the ball. You can see the nerves running through the veins of the centre back. I think he's a decent defender, but he's no match for Ben Gannon.
He doesn't want to be. He's a left centre back who doesn't want to be out in that wing. Oh, McTominay trying to spin away on the edge of the box from Zabeline, who did enough to hold him up, and eventually Belarus got a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. Michael, you seem to be...
Well, I was just going to say, Willie, I'll tell you, what is the least favourite position as a defender to find yourself in the box with somebody running at you with pace?
And he's got a trick or two as well. You don't know if he's going to come inside or outside. He's got that pace. I can see Zabeline thinking to himself, this is going to be a long night for me. Doesn't fancy it because he's not getting up tight on him either. He's sitting off him, and if he's sitting off him like that, then Gannon Doak's going to take him to the cleaners.
He's not getting a whole lot of help from his left wing back either. Pechinen, who's playing pretty high up. You would think from a Belarusian point of view that to try and counter Gannon Doak, they would at least bring him back and help his centre back out. But
so what should we be doing?
Using him as often as possible.
Of course. I mean, you said it. It's no rocket science, you know. And you've just taken it a stage further, and I think you're absolutely spot on. Zabeline is 1v1 with him. Pachinin is like higher up the park, so there's the opportunity, there's the space. Feed him the ball, drop it in behind him, give him the feet. Just keep giving him the ball. You know, he's in the last couple of minutes he's had more of the ball than in the previous probably 10 minutes, and you can start to see he's coming alive. There was a little spell, you know, that I was just saying before, where it didn't look like he was fully engaged, he wasn't fully concentrated, whereas now he's had a couple of moments and all of a sudden you can see he's re-energised, and the whole team's re-energised.
I'm getting a sense of deja vu here watching Barkowski writhing about on the Hampden turf. Do you remember?
It happened once or twice, didn't it?
John Suter was penalised on umpteen occasions for the aerial battles he was having. This time it's Scott McKenna who's I mean, he has touched him with his hand in the face, but I mean, it doesn't really merit. I don't think he's a big guy, Barkowski, and it will be a Belarus free kick as we get another sight of the Shea Adams goal. It is a really well taken finish, batters it into the ground, and no chance for the goalkeeper as Barkowski is helped off the pitch there.
It was a good finish, really good finish from Shea Adams.
Anyway, Belarus will have a free kick. It's about 10 yards inside the Scotland half. It's taken short by Martinovic out to Pigas on that right hand side, back to Martinovic, and onto the halfway line it's Parkamenko. Back on comes Barkowski as Scotland pick up, Belarus pick up in the middle of the park. It's Gromyko coming deep. 1-0 Scotland lead, 31.5 minutes played. Gromyko allowed to advance and then plays it out to the left hand side to Pechinin, who gets it back towards the box, but good covering there by McLean. And now Gannon Doak, he just leaves his marker for dead. And then eventually it's a good challenge by Zabeline on that occasion. He has a little glance at Gannon Doak, saying, well, you didn't get the better of me that time, but I think that's the first time.
It's quite a desperate challenge from him, because he knows if Gannon Doak gets beyond him that he's not got any answer.
Here comes Scotland. McTominay, Robertson across the 6-yard box, and Adams couldn't turn it in. It was down and has stayed down. is a goal kick that's been awarded certainly initially.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Zabalin just looks like he clatters into the back of Che Adams there.
He does go into the back of him. I mean, he's not really making an attempt, I don't think, to get the ball. If he is, he's going through Che Adams. I'm surprised that they don't look at that. It was really clumsy challenge.
Because there's a quick turnover and their defensive backline spread. Che Adams is in between centre half and left-sided centre half. It's probably not enough. Not enough, but.
And I don't think it's behind Che Adams as well. I don't know if he's going to get a striking goal too.
Need that ball just probably about 2-3 feet further in front of Che Adams, and he's got a better chance of being able to get a good contact on it.
Yeah. There is a delay, but now it's been waved on, and probably just about the right decision, but worth a look for sure, as Zabalin made that challenge, and now he just slices the ball out of play, and he's not having the happiest of evenings out there up against young Ben Gannon-Doak.
I think you would definitely target him, wouldn't you? He looks, his position wasn't good there. He's rattled into the back of Che Adams. Yeah, didn't get a penalty, but you know, it was not a good challenge from him. It was really awkward too, and he just doesn't look. You know, the challenge that he puts in on Gannon-Doak as well. I think it's a desperate challenge too. You know, if Gannon-Doak just gets it beyond him, he's well stranded. So yeah, I would target him definitely.
Here he is, rolling the ball back to Parkamenko, who will then try the big diagonal out to Malashevich, right hand side. He nods it down into the box, but McKenna's there first. He sweeps it forward. McGinn was fouled from behind by Martinovic there, and Scotland get the free kick about 10-15 yards inside their own half left hand side. Still 1-0 Scotland, 34 minutes played. Still Scotland not quite getting through the gears, but they do have that all-important advantage given to them by Che Adams after 15 minutes, as this time Kenny McLean is dragged to the ground by a Bong. Scotland free kick midway inside their own half, taken shot by Hendry to Ralston. Now McTominay, forward it goes to Ben Gannon-Doak, just tried to let that run through his legs. Zabalin had read it and did well on that occasion, and then knocks it back to Parkamenko. A Bong back to the goalkeeper Lapukov. He plays it out as Belarus
get right up on them.
Take a little bit of a chance here. Back it goes to the keeper. Not a great clearance, but it evades Kenny McLean, and that allows Malashevich to pick up, and he's got support in the shape of Pigas here out on the right hand side. 10 yards inside the Scotland half, comes back to the halfway line to Martinovic, and now Zabalin rolls it forward for Gromyko. Does just enough to get it back to Zabalin on the halfway line. He'll get it back once more from Peshanin. Just one goal they've scored in this World Cup qualifying campaign so far, conceding 14 now. As Ralston gets it back from Gilmore. Hendry plays it square for McKenna, and then Gilmore comes short to look for it again. It's a little bit subdued around Hampden, the crowd just needing something to get them going again, as Robertson has it on the left hand side, moves away from Malashevich, leaves it to McLean on the halfway line. Poor ball forward for John McGinn, and that allows Pigas to pick up on the right hand side. Out for a throw in to Belarus on the halfway line with just about 9 minutes left of this first period. 1-0 Scotland.
Maybe a little bit more movement from the front for John McGinn. Scott McTominay not really been in the game enough, and even Gannon-Doak has got to be, his movement's got to get better to get in the ball.
He switched off a little bit there, allowing Zabalin to advance with Belarus in possession. It's switched out to the right hand side now as Peshanin picks up at the edge of the box, looking to find room for a shot. Gannon-Doak manages to stick a toe in but can't keep it, and Zabalin now goes back the way. It was half an opening there just a moment ago. Gannon-Doak's got to be aware of his occasional defensive duties as well, even against the bottom of the group, Belarus, as Parkamenko tries a decent ball forward.
Great pass.
Yeah, laid off by Gromyko. Now it's a decent effort from the edge of the box by Barkowski, maybe a yard or so over the top, but Angus Gunn had to keep an eye on that, certainly, as Scotland can't afford to allow Belarus a way back into this game, leading as they do 1-0 with 37 minutes on the clock.
It all comes from Parkamenko firing a ball right through the Scotland team into the front man's feet, lay off and then a shot at goal. Nobody's going to tell me that we've not got players that are capable of that, but there's got to be, as Willie's just said there's got to be a greater willingness from those people that are higher up the park to actually take the ball, show for it.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little bit lacking in movement up there. Be it Scott McTominay, Che Adams, Gannon Doak or John McGinn.
Here's Milicevic, right hand side. McKenna is with him. Belarus keeping possession through Barkowski, now back the way to Pigas. Back in the halfway line with Martinovic. The home fans want Scotland up. They're camped into their own half just at the moment as Martinovic has it. Shot for Ebong, back with Martinovic, wants another option. It's Ebong once more who offers, tries to flick that over the top of John McGinn, but it doesn't manage to do so. McGinn shows too much of it though to Ebong, and it breaks out to the right hand side, and Belarus will send that back to Lapikov, the goalkeeper. He sends it up towards the halfway line. Good jump there by McKenna to beat Barkowski, and out for a throw and over on the far side. 7 to the break, 1-0 Scotland.
He did well defensively though there, John McGinn, didn't he? He's sitting back, he wins possession. Just his touch going forward, just too heavy a touch. But you want to see more of him, making himself available whenever, like Kenny McLean's got the ball. Billy Gilmour's got the ball as well.
Robertson into the box towards the back post. It's well above Gannon Doak though, he jumped but realised he was jumping in vain. Inside Anthony Ralston, knocks it out of play. Let's bring in Billy Dodds, who's watching the game with us. We'll hear more from him at half time. But Billy, what you made of the opening 39 minutes or thereabouts?
Yeah, I would like a second goal, that's for sure. I think we've got to recognise they've been pretty bold and play a 4-4-2 counter-attack, and it's caught us out a few times, especially early. They've got some key men, we'll talk about them at half time as well, and they are danger men, so we can't play too open. But yeah, we'd like to squeeze it. I'd like a second goal. I think it would settle us down. I think we're going to win the game comfortably, but we've got to make sure we're locking the back door while we're trying to do that.
That's Billy. More from Billy Dodds at the interval, but 5.5 minutes plus added on time until that comes as Gannon Doak, he was taken from the back there. That's a poor challenge by Jablonski. You can hear Gannon Doak's cries from down with their pitch side microphones, and that's right in the Achilles, it looked to me, down the calf at least, and he's in a bit of pain there. I don't think we got a card there for Jablonski, which looked like it was merited, I have to say.
Yeah, it was a little bit rash, and it's from behind as well. I think he's going for the ball, but he doesn't get the ball, so and it is a rash challenge. He's just thrown his leg out there. He somehow manages to come away with the ball, but he's taken. He's fallen as well, Gannon Doak. I don't think it's a yellow card.
No.
Being able to get another look at it.
Fair enough. It's a free kick to Scotland as Ralston clips it forward looking for Adams, cut out by Zavalin. McTominay does well, gets it to Gannon Doak. Adams with his back to goal, tries to squeeze it back to Gilmour, wins the 50-50, breaks for McGinn. Now Robertson into the box, knocked away by Martinovic there to deal with the danger that was coming in from Robertson's cross. Scotland have taken the throw in quickly. It's back with McLean, left hand side, curls it in looking for McTominay. It's away by Zabalin and helped on by Gromyko, who chases Ralston, has to go all the way back, or doesn't have to, but he does go all the way back to Angus Gunn at the edge of his area, just a couple of yards outside it. Sends it out to the left hand side looking for the well advanced Robertson. He wins the header and he's going to win the second ball as well. Into Adams he goes. Adams takes a touch and then fires it out to this near side. It's a good ball. Gannon Doak now got a bit of space here on the right hand side of the penalty area, fires it in low, gets it past Zabalin but not past Parkamenko. Off him though for a corner. 42 played almost. Scotland 1, Belarus 0.
Great ball, great play. Che Adams, as the ball comes into him, spinning out. That's a bit of old school front play. Take the ball in, spin it out wide, get into the box. It just felt like Gannon Doak, as soon as he controlled that, should have really just been running at pace into the box.
Yeah. And if he's going to deliver it a little bit more accurate, you know, he's hitting the first man again.
McGinn from the right hand side sends it back post, won by a Belarusian head and then helped on at the edge of the box by Malashenko. Ralston thumps it high and up towards the edge of the penalty box again. Parkhomenko first to it, flicked on by Barkowski off Gilmour, and it'll come out for a Belarus throw in, more or less on the halfway line, down in front of Carlos Alos, the Spanish manager of Belarus, looking to try and claim a first point in this World Cup qualifying campaign, and at the same time put a spoke in the wheel of Scotland's attempts to get back to our first World Cup since France 98. Zabelin lashes it forward but rather aimlessly, and Angus Gunn will pick that one up pretty comfortably and then just plays it out to McKenna. McKenna for his central defensive partner Hendry, and out to Ralston right hand side, midway inside the Scotland half. Back once more with Hendry, and again to Ralston. Belarus trying to press Scotland here. He gets out to the right hand side. Adams has come and collected it, plays it forward to McTominay, who runs into bother, somehow manages to keep possession and gets it forward to Gannon Doak. He's away from Zabelin again, and now he can open his legs and get into that penalty area. Still being Gannon Doak, he goes for goal and it's saved and turned round the post by Lapikov. Well, Ben Gannon Doak, when he just gets into those areas, he might have tried to pick out a teammate of various options, but you can't really blame him for going for goal. The shot was certainly on. 43.5 played, Scotland 1, Belarus 0.
Yeah, I don't think you can blame him, to be perfectly honest. Again, a great little turn. Zabelin nowhere to be seen, and Ben Gannon Doak running in. Could he cut it back? He might have been able to cut it back for Shea Adams, whose movement so far in the game's been an extraordinarily high standard from his point of view.
Corner from McGinn. Lapikov punches, but he's also been given a free kick for not quite sure what. Presumably the referee thinks he was impeded in some fashion. But anyway, the danger over. Michael, just going back to the Gannon Doak effort. Did he? I mean, I guess you can say with hindsight he didn't choose the right option, but would you have expected him to try and pick out a teammate in the position he was in?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it, because you're talking about an attacking player that's driving at the box there, but I think he could have, and perhaps it would have been a better angle for Che Adams there. But you're not going to criticise too much there, because he's driving at the box. But I've got to say, this is as good as I've seen Che Adams.
Yeah,
because his all-round game's been pretty good. He was the one that drops in off the initial move, picks it up, plays it round the corner to Scott McTominay, who then plays into Ben Doak, and then Che Adams is getting forward into the box there. He's been good.
Here come Belarus though, and it's headed clear by Hendry, and that allows Gannon Doak to pick up right hand side. A couple of minutes added on at the end of this first period. Not entirely sure who Ben Gannon Doak's looking for there with that diagonal ball, but it's the keeper that he finds at the edge of his penalty area, and Lapikov fires it forward looking for Malashevich, but he can't bring it under control, and out for a throw-in over on the far side. But into those 2 minutes of added on time, Scotland leading by a Shea Adams goal to 0, and it's looking like that's going to be the way of it come the interval, as down goes. Is it McGinn that's gone down? Certainly Scotland have been given a free kick out on that far side, and the fans didn't like the challenge. It's Gilmour actually who was out on that left flank momentarily, who was just first to it, and then Bong just seemed to catch him there. Again, it's the free kick and nothing more. And Bong with a slightly raised boot.
I think it's a little bit naughty from a Bong, on Gilmour. His boot's up in the air, which is a good thing, because although he was caught, there was no real substance to it.
Here comes Gannon Doak again, up towards the edge of the box, goes for goal. It takes a big deflection. Lapikov just about manages to keep that out. He's looked a bit ungainly there. Yeah, again, Andy Robertson was making great yardage down the left-hand side, but Gannon Doak went for goal again, and this time the deflection, and Lapikov eventually preventing it from finding the back of the net.
He's exciting. He gets the team into positions where you feel like there's a chance of creating something, and it's not another terrible decision. Robertson was there, yeah, but having the strike's not a bad option. It's not a bad decision either.
Overhead kick from the edge of the box there from Barkowski, flies well wide, and that's the last action of a first period in which Scotland have got the the better of Belarus by a goal to nil. It didn't start particularly inspiringly, it has to be said, from Scotland, but they did get the breakthrough after just quarter of an hour. Terrific ball zipped in from Jack Hendry to the edge of the box, where Shea Adams managed to get the ball out of his feet and onto the left boot with which he lashed the ball low past Fyodor Lapukov to give Scotland the advantage. They didn't really build on that as such, no real further threats for Lapukov. Barkowski at the other end had an effort from distance that was a yard or so over the bar, and then Ben Gannon-Doak, who certainly looked lively at times, with a couple of efforts just before the break there. One was saved as he ran in from the right hand side angle, and he forced the save from Lapukov, and then just a moment or so ago an effort on the left foot, this time deflected high in the air, which Lapukov was able to deal with. So at half time it's Scotland 1, Belarus 0.
The passion lives here.
Scotland in the World Cup qualifiers.
On Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound live from the National Stadium in the south side of Glasgow. As Al said, Scotland 1, Belarus 0 here. It was a slow start from the home side, you'd have to say, but it was a terrific finish from Shea Adams. Ben Gannon-Doak has undoubtedly looked the threat, perhaps just the final ball letting him down on occasion. Tom English, Billy Dodge, Willie Miller and Michael Stewart alongside me here on the gantry. Billy Dodge, your assessment of that first half performance?
Yeah, kind of what I thought. They're open. You have to write, they're set up 4-4-2 counter-attack football. Pretty bold for them. I thought they were going to go a 5 and maybe even a 5-4-1 and sit in and make it frustrating for us. They're open. We'll get them at some point, but we felt as if we started slow. We needed a moment that's going to spark us, and we got that with the Shea Adams effort, running shot, and then we kind of got to grips with it and realised how they're playing. If we can be nice and solid and not leave it vulnerable at the back, then we'll be fine. But for 15 minutes it was slow, it was pedestrian. You can't go gung-ho because they have threats. I mean, Barkowski, Gromyko, Milicevic has got some pace, you know, the 7. He can run, and we've got to be careful. So if you get after teams too much, it can leave you vulnerable and open. So there's a bit to be careful there. But I think if we get another goal, Kenny, this is where we were alluding to at the start of the programme. You're maybe going to win it 3-0, 4-0, but I think we need a second now, because the longer this half goes on, you think, right, OK, we've not killed it. I think the players will grow in confidence if we get a second, and I'd like to see us go for the jugular because of the goal difference. But you've got to give them some credit as well. They're out, they don't care, they're having a go, you can see it. They're
better than we thought, perhaps.
Oh, not for me. This is why I said at the start, I've played against Belarus home and away 3 or 4 times, and it's horrible. They are horrible. They're not a San Marino or anything like that where you're expected to get goals. They're just a wee notch up in that. They're not a great team, I'm not backing them up whatsoever, but they're a team you've got to give a bit of respect to, or they might get you in the other end. So yeah, it's good to go hunting them and making sure you're after them and try to keep the pace up, but there's a way to handle the game. I think now they've got the first, and you can see we're creating more chances. Get the ball to Gannon-Doak, of course. Yeah, he's shown a little bit of inexperience at times when his final ball, but Michael said the word exciting. He's right, it excites me when he gets the ball. So there's plenty there for us to go and get more goals. You'll get space against them, you'll create chances. Just make sure you keep it nice and secure at the back.
What have you made of it, Tom, that first 45?
I think it's been pretty dull, to be honest. I think Scotland, the delivery of their final ball has been really poor. I don't know how many times they've hit the first defender, very frustrating. Adams very good, Gannon-Doak very, very busy. Hopefully that kind of energy is going to lead to something sooner or later. But 1-0, I think it's pretty flat. Like the stadium is very flat.
Yeah, right from the off here. And before kick-off, it felt really good, didn't it? Energised.
Yeah, it did. No, it's been quiet. It's been very, very quiet for most of that first half. And I think it's up to the players to kind of give them something to get their teeth into, you know. And I don't think it's happened yet. They've had a lot of possession, obviously, a lot of work rate, but it's been it's been a kind of a bit of a grind for them. And hopefully maybe, imagine Belarus will maybe tire, they'll lose their discipline, they'll lose their concentration, and that's when Scotland are going to punish them. You'd hope that that's what's going to happen.
Should we really be expecting a bit more from the Scotland team as from what we've seen so far?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that would be the case. I think that the movement, to receive the ball isn't good enough. I don't see Scott McTominay or John McGinn really making himself available. I'm not 100% certain about the Billy Gilmour role, where he's playing, much further forward than Kenny McLean. I think he's better if he's playing a little bit deeper, and if you're going to play the 4-1-4-1, then it would be Billy Gilmour in my book that would be the one that would be playing where Kenny McLean is playing. I think Shea Adams has been brilliant. I think that's the best movement from him in a blue jersey that I can remember. I think his movement has been really difficult to control from a defensive point of view. He's looking to go short, looking to run across the face and then dart in behind. His goal was superb as well. So he's been outstanding. Ben Gannon-Doak, yeah, absolutely. I think the pace that he's got is frightening. Defenders just can't cope with that pace. Maybe a little bit more composure when he gets himself into positions, either to cross or have the strike at goal. These are the two, I think, Adams and Ben Gannon-Doak. These are the two players that I think are playing at the level you expect them. The rest, I think, are ordinary. Andy Robertson's cross has been poor. Anthony Ralston's not really taken part, and when he has taken part, he's maybe actually blocked the space for Gannon-Doak. So I think it's been a flat performance. The goal was something special, I think, from a striker, taking that ball down, turning it and burying it into the back of the net, and we haven't really created too many other opportunities, have we? So it's 1-0. Maybe we were getting just a bit too excited when we were saying 2-0 will not do.
Would you take 2-0 now, will it?
Well, whether I take it or not, it's looking like it, isn't it? So a bit disappointing. I think just a bit disappointing in the energy that the players are showing. I was expecting much more energy, and I don't think we're getting it. And certainly we're not getting enough movement to build things up, and not enough movement in the final third to cause them too many issues.
The only time, Michael, it feels as if there is a surge is when Ben Gannon-Doak gets the ball. You can feel something just happening within the stadium.
Yeah, I don't know, doubt. Chris have gone on about it enough to look to get the ball to him, get it to his feet, get the ball in behind. Thankfully, as the half wore on, it seemed to be that we were doing that. And then what happens when that starts to take shape is that you create space for others. So it's not as if like every time you get the ball it gets spun out to him. It'll naturally unfold that there will be opportunity to get the ball into others, because as soon as he gets the ball more, he'll track more players. The space will open up elsewhere for the likes of perhaps John McGinn on the inside channel over on the other side, for Scott McTominay in the central areas, for Shea Adams in and around the box. But first port of call for me, with the space that Hampden has, is you get that ball into Ben Doak. He's the go-to man. He's the one that gets the fans on the edge of the seat, and as a team as well, the players sense that. He's got the beating of Zabaleen. So I'm not fully understanding the midfield setup at the moment. I think Billy Gilmour for me is better when he's got the game in front of him, rather than on being slightly further front. And by the way, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be in those positions to potentially cut open the defences with passes. As the team's working its way up the park, he's still going to be in those areas if things are working well. I just think he definitely, for me, is better with the game in front of him.
Billy Dodge, is there anything you'd change if you're Steve Clarke?
Not for now. I would be asking them as a collective unit, move the ball quicker. I think when they move the ball nice and speedy, they get out to Doak, or they find a pass that gets somebody in space. I think when it's a deliberate build up and it's slow, I think they can organise and sit in their 4-4-2, wait to nick it and try and counter you. But if you get it nice and sharp and slick, you'll find some space. And I think although it's been pretty flat at times, I think there's moments, Kenny, when it's been, oh, that wasn't bad, and oh, here's a chance. We've all felt of that. It's not been completely rock bottom. We've had some opportunities, but that's come from any time we move that ball quickly, then we get a bit of joy, don't we?
Yeah. Pretend they're 1-0 down. Brainwash themselves into thinking there's 10 minutes left and they're 1-0 down.
You just wonder what he is saying to them in there at the moment, Tom, because it's, listen, we'll get a victory here, we'll be delighted, but it's not good enough so far, is it? That's the reality.
No, it isn't, and it'll be good enough for tonight, but if you project a little bit forward into next month, this is not good enough. No. I don't think, to beat Greece.
No.
And it's not good enough to beat Denmark or even get the required number of points, whether it's a win or draw. No, it isn't. I think Scotland are better than this. We said that the other night as well, and they dug it out somehow. Still can't quite figure out how they did it, but anyway. But they need to up this. This is a poor performance. They're winning. They will win, but it's poor.
What about the central defenders, Willie, when they're coming forward? So that great through ball from Henry that led to the goal. Do you like the look? They've not been tested hugely, we know that. But do you like the look of that centre too?
I mean, they're very capable pairing, that for sure. They've got great pace. You know that none of the two of them look as though they're going to get caught for pace or be anything over the top. Use of the ball, I think Jack Henry's use of the ball is better than Scott McKenna. I think Scott kind of at times lacks a little bit of confidence when he's on the ball, you know, and kind of is more likely to turn back and play the easy pass rather than what he's capable of. He's capable of, you know, playing crossfield passes. He's capable of playing forward passes. I think it's a good balance. You know, good pace as well, but they haven't really been tested. I don't think. So from that point of view, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think Andy Robertson, I think just he's crossing into the box. That final cross into the box, he gets himself forward really well, but it's just so frustrating that he doesn't deliver enough. And I think that has been a problem throughout the team, is that when they do get into areas, they don't make enough use of the positions they're in to actually, you know, cause the Belarus defence problems. But I think it's okay. I don't think it's spectacular. I think it's a kind of a low-key performance, and 1-0 kind of sums it up. Yeah. One bit of brilliance from Shea Adams has turned the game. I haven't seen, other than Ben Doak, looking as though he could do something really special. And Pierre Zabelin, I think if he gets 1-1 with him, then there's only going to be one winner. You just feel for the big centre-back, because that's not really where he wants to be, dragged out into a full-back area and against a speedy winger like Gannon Doak. So, you know, so far, all right, I would say, but you're still looking for more, aren't you? The fans are looking for more. You're looking for a bit more excitement, and we haven't had enough excitement. I still say that the movement isn't nearly good enough. Movement in the forward areas is not good enough because the Belarus defence problem.
Yeah, Tom, it was a terrific. We had a good debate beforehand about who should start up top. You spoke about Lyndon Dykes' record of late. It was a really special finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lovely goal, and you know, he created it himself. Lovely first touch, lovely second touch, really sweet finish. The old goalkeeper was stopping that. He just rifled it into the corner. And you thought, because the goal came early.
I can't believe you even started him, Tom.
Mikey. There you go, Mikey. You know, you were kind of screaming for Lyndon Dykes. And to be fair, I wanted Lyndon Dykes to start the match as well. So, yeah. You know, so Shea Adams, he's done very well. The boys are spot on. His work rate and everything about him has been very, very good. Brilliant finish. And I just thought that, okay, that's a nice early goal. This is exactly what you want against Belarus. Really start to break their spirit a little bit, but they haven't built on that. Gannon Doak is causing them all sorts of problems, but then he's kind of undoing his good work by his delivery is not good enough. And, you know, he's still only 19. He's got a lot to learn. Yeah, it's not great, but listen, I said beforehand, we might need to be patient tonight, so I'm going to be patient. And I think they'll score more goals in the second half. That's my prediction.
We need a second. I think that'll calm everything.
Yeah.
We get that second goal, I think you'll find when I said 2-0, I didn't expect like 5-6. I expected 3-4.
Yeah, I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah,
to expect that before the game.
But we need to get that second. I think it'll relax a few of the players as well. This is a typical Steve Clarke's team performance. It's like manage your way through the game, and they'll manage their way to get a second goal. And if they do that, I think we'll win, as I say, 3-0. I'm going to go for 3-0.
Right, I think we'll take that right now. Actually, the teams are back out. Let's hope for plenty more goals. As Billy said, 3 are probably a decent number, given the score is just 1 at the moment. So time for the second of action. Scotland against Belarus with Willie Miller, Billy Dawes, Michael Stewart and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. Shea Adams, a big hug down there before he goes back on from John Suter. So he's obviously pleased with his performance as well. It doesn't look like there are changes coming at half-time. I guess Carlos Alos, the Belarus manager, will be pretty satisfied with what he's seen from his side. Plenty of endeavour and just 1 goal in it, but in Scotland's favour, as they prepare to get us back underway here, going from right to left in the second period. We look at it from the top tier at the back of the stand. Billy's just pointing out we're having a little quibble about the formation, but Billy, obviously the wiser tactician, has called it correct. It is a 4 at the back for Belarus. You should know better than to ever doubt the man. Anyway, we're back underway, and Scotland looking for further goals then in this second period to boost their goal difference, but primarily just to ensure the victory, which Steve Clarke has been saying is by far and away the main thing. And if the goals come, well, all well and good. But it's Barkowski picking up early in this second period and trying to spin his way through. Actually, it was Gromyko who was claiming for a free kick in the end, which is not going to come his way. And now Andy Robertson's found McGinn, who turns it back in field in the halfway line to McTominay. Ben Gannon-Doak out on the far side calling for it, but McTominay comes left. It takes a deflection and out for a throw-in.
I don't know why Scott McTominay's looking to come back narrow side where the ball's just come for.
McGinn tries to thread it through. Adams will catch that and he cuts it back, and Parkamenko sticks out the boot, and somehow McTominay's picked up in the box, and now Robertson lays it back to McGinn, who turns it back once more. Kenny McLean from 25 yards, he just screws the shot wide. Really didn't catch that at all well, the Norwich midfielder, and fails to test Lapikov from just over 20 yards. It was a good opportunity. McLean had a yard or two there to take a touch and then get the shot off, but it's wide, and it's still Scotland 1, Belarus 0.
Shea Adams couldn't believe that he managed to keep that ball in, and the defence and the goalkeeper not doing enough to stop him recovering and actually starting that attack from the goal line. Yeah, Kenny McLean's a poor strike, left foot. Should be looking to do much better than that.
Here comes Scotland again. It's Billy Gilmore drifting out to this left-hand side.
I thought you would have enjoyed that moment there, Al, where Barkowski just got clattered off his own teammate.
Yeah, I only kind of
got it back up quite quickly.
Here's McTominay, shot saved by Lapikov straight at him from the edge of the box there. But already Scotland showing a bit more attacking intent. Getting the shot off there at the edge of the box was McTominay, but Lapikov makes the save. Yeah, I did notice that out of the corner of my eye, that Barkowski had gone down, and immediately back on his feet as Scotland look for that second goal. Decent enough effort from McTominay, just too close to the keeper.
Yeah, it's positive, definitely. There you go, that's what we're looking for, Kerry.
Looking for Gannon-Doak as Zabalin gets his head to it and just takes it off the toes of Gannon-Doak and plays it out for a
That's exactly the tactic, and there are other opportunities where it's not as long a pass. It's maybe a 40-yard pass rather than a 60 or 70-yard pass.
Scotland have it right hand side. McTominay and now Gannon-Doak on the right flank, plays it back the way to McLean, and now back with Gannon-Doak on that right flank. Infield it goes to Gilmore. He just tries to play it back round the corner, comes off a Belarus player and out for a throw in about 20 yards from the corner flag. Ralston plays it. It's a good throw in, and well, Scotland almost making the most of that from the clever quick throw in, and the ball turned behind in the end by the Belarus defence as Scotland just got in behind them momentarily.
It's pretty simple. You know, just keep the pace of the game up. Take quick throw-ins, take quick free kicks. That almost caught, you know, Belarus out defensively.
McGinn from the right-hand side curls it in the way. Lapikov just about gathers that, and then immediately launches it looking for Gromyko out on that left-hand side. But Gannon Doak goes back the way. Gromyko just lost his footing, and Scotland have the ball back. We've played 4 minutes of the second period, still 1-0 Scotland. But Scotland playing on the front foot at the outset. Gilmour finding himself out on this left-hand side quite often as the ball goes back to McKenna, and then it's Gilmour coming deep this time, and closed down by Malashevich. Then he has to roll it back to Angus Gunn, who plays it out to the left, but straight out of play before Robertson can do anything with it, and it's a throw into Belarus on this near side to be taken by Vadim Pigas, just a yard or two inside the Scotland half. It's over Barkowski. McKenna heads it back forward. Pigas returns it. Barkowski gets there, and now it's Max Ebong, the central midfielder, back to Pigas, and now the captain Martinovic. Barkowski with a little flick, it's a good one, and Malashevich is fouled according to the referee, and Belarus will have the free kick about 10 yards inside the Scotland half.
I think you just want Scotland, when they get the ball, just to keep the tempo up. You know, I think they're maybe folding a little bit too far back as well. I would prefer to see the two centre backs in particular pushing up and you know, keeping the spaces really tight, and then perhaps getting after the ball a little bit more. I think Belarus is getting too much time to kind of slot the ball about, and they're not being put under enough pressure in my book.
Here's Martinovic at the back, playing that down the right channel, but Robertson in the way, and gets it to McGinn, and McGinn forward to Adams, who turns it. He's looking for Ben Gannon Doak there, but straight to Zablin instead, and now Belarus pick up and try and counter down the left-hand side. Gromyko, as the national anthem rings round Hampden Park, it's Gromyko coming forward out to the left-hand side. Comes in there from Peshanin.
Che Adams just needed to slide that 10 yards inside for Scott McTominay, who's driving forward. He passes into him, the forward momentum's continuing, and then you've actually got an overload in the wide area, because if McTominay drives forward, it's going to cause Zabalin a problem in terms of he's going to have to narrow off and confront McTominay, and then he slips it into Gannon Doak's feet, or he drives forward and he's getting into the space himself, and Che Adams is spinning and getting forward. He didn't need to try to spin that straight out to Gannon Doak straight away. Yeah. Simple little ball, 10 yards into McTominay's feet.
Yeah, that would definitely have been a better option. Sometimes we hear people calling for it, you know, to miss one of the passes out, but on that occasion definitely would have been the better one to play the shorter pass, as Robertson goes back towards his own goal, nods it back, and then plays it back to Angus Gunn, who's given that straight to Barkowski, right hand side. Barkowski onto the left foot, curls it in towards the back post. Ralston gets it clear as far as McTominay, who chests it down and then moves out to the right hand side to Gannon Doak, 10 yards inside his own half, cutting in field though, and held up, but still gets the pass off to McLean. Now McLean finds
good
Gilmour.
Pass. That's a good ball.
And now it's Robertson coming forward. Robertson into the feet of McGinn back to Robertson, left hand side. Now can he dig out the cross? Looks like he's put too much on that. Gannon Doak though able to keep it in, half cleared by Zabalin. Gilmour picks up on the thigh, encouraged to shoot from the edge of the box, and he does so, but it's well over the top from the Napoli midfielder. And after 52.5 minutes, it's still Scotland 1, Belarus 0.
But it feels positive because it's forward passes, you know, and there's nothing different about that phase of play that couldn't or shouldn't have been happening before. It's just positive forward play, willing to play the ball into forward areas. Starts off with Kenny McLean. It's not an easy ball. He's on the run, fires it into Billy Gilmour, who controls it well, slips it into Andy Robertson with a ball round the corner, and then Andy Robertson again, he's playing it forward into John McGinn. So the whole momentum of the attack continues. There's no slowing down, there's no sideways or backwards passes that kills the momentum. And that's what we need to be doing more of, taking greater risk. Well, you say risk, but it's just being aware and wanting to play forward.
Here's Adams, collects the throw in from Ralston and helps it on to Gannon Doak. Gannon Doak into a central area. It's McGinn on the edge of the box, goes for a goal, good save. Lapikov pushes it away to his left, and Zabolin completes the clearance out to the left hand side, where Pashanin will pick up, and actually he's found a decent ball forward looking for Malashevich, but back goes Robertson to cut that out and play it forward to McGinn, who was denied just a moment ago by a decent save from Lapikov, one you'd probably expect him to make, but he had to get down and push it away, which is exactly what he did.
But it's a good move, and it's from the set piece, it's from the throw in. It's nothing too elaborate. It's just you know, Gannon Doak doing really well and setting John McGinn up, and John McGinn getting himself in off the line as well into a much more forward position so he can have the strike at goal. It's just the whole tempo of the game in the second half been much brighter.
Gun for McKenna. 9 minutes of the second period gone. No further goals in this half, but a couple of efforts certainly. McTominay and McGinn both being denied by the goalkeeper, as Kenny McLean plays it forward for Scotland. Now it's McKenna. Belarus about to make the first change of the evening as McKenna now finds Robertson. Robertson with a good ball to McGinn. McGinn at the edge of the box looking for options. Belarus getting players back. He goes back the way to McLean. He's just caught there by Gromyko. Gets the pass off to McTominay. Now out to Gannon Doak with a dreadful attempt at a cross, and the move comes to an end, and that will allow Belarus to bring on the young striker Trolim Menichenko. Plays his football for the Porto B side, and he's going to replace Vadim Pigas in the 55th minute here, with another Scotland attack coming to an end there with a poor cross from Gannon Doak. But Scotland certainly showing more positivity in this second period, but still just 1-0.
Yeah, and John McGinn taking part in the build-up as well, playing much further in off the line as well, allowing Andy Robertson to get forward, but actually getting a little bit closer to Shea Adams too, which I think is a positive aspect to it.
Here is Melnichenko, his first few touches as he comes up towards the edge of the penalty area from the left hand side, fires it in but straight into the gloves of Angus Gunn before Gromyko could make anything of it, and then Gunn rolls out to Robertson, forward to McGinn, who's bundled to the ground by Parkamenko.
John McGinn does brilliantly there, but again it's a willingness to play forward, pass forward. I just think in the first half there was far too much acceptance of just being safe, keeping the ball.
Here goes Shea Adams on the chase, out comes the goalkeeper, chests that out to the left hand side and does well to get it further forward before McGinn could do anything, but he's now out his goal and the ball's still in play, but Maxi Bong is picked up for Belarus, and actually it's looking like a promising attack now as Melnichenko picks up left hand side and runs at Anthony Ralston, a couple of step overs, takes a deflection. I'm not sure Angus Gunn managed to keep that in. He did, according to the assistant referee at least, and the chance comes to nothing, but and Belarus at 1-0 down are not out of this. As much as Scotland have been better at the start of this second half, they've not got that second goal that Billy and the others were looking for. As McKenna comes infield, plays it to Gilmore, who goes back the way to Angus Gunn, who will start again through Hendry and now Gilmore. 57 on the clock, 1-0 Scotland. Remember, it's Denmark-Greece later in the group, and Scotland hold on to the lead here, and Denmark beat Greece, then Scotland will have a playoff at worst to get to the World Cup, with 2 games still remaining and the opportunity to go and try and top the group. Robertson was definitely offside, so doesn't chase this, but Adams will, and he's onside, and he might just get the better here of Parkamenko. Parkamenko seemed to hold him up, now he brings him to the ground. The referee says nothing. The referee was right on the spot and he says nothing. Just a throw in. Andy Robertson's furious. Shea Adams can't believe it either.
Parkamenko's pretty close to actually grabbing the ball with his hand to begin with, and then he just throws his body into the back of Shea Adams.
He throws his head in between Shea Adams' legs here from behind. I mean, to me that looks like a penalty.
Watch it, he almost grabs the ball.
definitely touches it with his hand.
Yeah, and then he headbutts. Then he headbutts Che Adams.
That has got to be a penalty.
It's 100% penalty.
Well, VAR have got to be looking at this, and if they see this replay, I mean.
And then watch here with his head. He shoves his head in between Che Adams' legs.
Yeah, I think the handball's the most blatant part of that, surely, and it comes first. It has been checked by the Romanian VAR, who have already given one decision in Scotland's favour when they verified that the goal in the first half was onside, and there might yet be a penalty to come here for Scotland as we approach the hour mark here. Just look on the replay, it looks very much like Parkamenko, who had got caught wrong side of Che Adams after good play from Andy Robertson to recognise that he would have been offside. Good running again from Adams to get in behind, and the referee's now explaining something to Andy Robertson, and I'm not sure this is.
Well, I'm not. I mean, from the angle we looked at, I wasn't.
He's telling him he's looking at a handball. I think that's what it is.
Is he?
I think that because Andy Robertson's then signalling to the bench. That's look, he's saying that's what they're looking at, a handball. And
spotted out.
Anyway, the check is going on. I mean, it looked pretty conclusive.
I mean, not only the handball. How about the throwing of his head into the back of Che Adams? I mean, what attempt is that at playing the ball? I mean, it's none. He's just throwing his body into Che Adams. That's a foul from behind, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure why it's taken so long, because it looked pretty clear cut to us again. The referee's going to come and look at it. I mean, I'm not sure why he's been brought across, because surely if VAR say it is a handball, then unless it's some sort of subjective decision as to whether it's a deliberate act or. Anyway, the referee is going to come across and look at the VAR monitor here. So whether it's, I mean, it certainly seemed to be the handball they were checking, but as Michael points out, well, the subsequent foul was also part of it.
Yeah, it hits his hand, 100%. And he threw his arm out, and he threw it out.
Yeah.
And then, just to make, doubly sure, he sort of gets up and throws his head into Che Adams' legs. It's a penalty kick every day of the week. You could see it in real time, whether it's handball or a foul from throwing yourself into the back of him.
Now they're looking at
Che Adams'
hand. It hits his hand, doesn't it?
Outside the box, it does, yeah. But I mean, that's what's he going to? He's going to come back onto the field to play. He says he's pointing at his arm.
It looks as though it's Che Adams, is it not?
Yeah, I think he's going to penalise Che Adams for the handball, isn't he? He's explaining this to the two captains before anyone else.
So it's still our shy then?
I think so, yeah. Well, it might. Surely then would be a free kick to Belarus.
To Belarus.
For a handball. Yeah.
Handball, but not every handball. No, but he's an open play. The ball went out for a shy.
No, before that though. But he's obviously deciding if it's a deliberate handball. It's one that's been penalised. So it's no penalty. It's a free kick to Belarus for a Che Adams handball just prior, which is extremely unfortunate for Scotland. But certainly when you saw that replay again, you could see that Adams probably did. I know that.
Not every handball is punishable.
Absolutely,
that's if Che Adams goes and scores the goal. But that's not what was being looked at there. That was the ball touched his hand. That did not necessarily necessitate that there's not going to be a penalty or play on.
Yeah, but I think that's what the officials have decided.
Well, that's clearly what they have done, but it doesn't.
Decided, And you couldn't see that from the replays
that
we had right up until the very last two reruns of it, and then you saw Che Adams, and it did hit his arm hand.
I mean,
here come Belarus down the left-hand side. It's Barkowski picking up into the penalty area. He comes across goal. It's a big chance, a goal! Belarus are level. It's Malashevich who's turned it in, and Scotland, having been denied a penalty just a moment ago, find themselves level as Belarus spring forward. Barkowski picks out Malashevich.
What a
and
joke.
Scotland are sleeping at the back there as Malashevich turns in just their second goal of the campaign.
Well,
and after 63 minutes, it's Scotland 1, Belarus 1.
I think this will be chalked off, I'll be honest, because it'll be looked at. It's a free kick on Scott McTominay. He's in possession, he gets fouled. You can see the players are saying that. How the ref's not blown his whistle for that, I've no idea. I mean, apart from that, it's just poor, all over poor play. Here you go, Scott McTominay's in there. That's a foul. He comes through the back of him and he brings him down. How the ref can allow that game to play on is beyond belief. It's quite simple. He doesn't get the ball. He comes through the back of McTominay. It's terrible defending, by the way. Here you go again. That's a foul.
Willie?
I think there's definitely contact. He's definitely not got the ball. I think McTominay goes down rather easily, I would suggest. He's a little bit off balance. Listen, is it clear and obvious? I think what Mikey's saying is it is clear and obvious. I'm a little bit in between. I think it could be given.
Well, he's going to come a look at the monitor.
But I'm not being funny. For the referee to be standing and watching, it basically allowed Belarus to have a counter-attack. How he's not blowing his whistle is incredible. You can, articulate or talk about the finer details of, well, is it clear and obvious? It was clear and obvious on the time that he should have been blown for a foul. Well, you see there, that's a free kick every day of the week.
See, if that had been the other way around, you'd have been quite happy for Scotland to have a goal chopped off. If that was it.
Look at it. It's right in front of you. It's a free kick. That is a free kick. He's into the side arm, clips his heels and falls over. I mean, that's a free kick. It's plain and simple.
Free kick it is. The referee agrees with Michael, so that's good. And it remains 1-0. But it's a big.
He's had an absolute howler in the last.
It's a big warning for Scotland because Andy Robertson for one was just on his heels there as Malashevich turned that into the back of the net.
Yes, to go back to the point there. Yes, it's not great for Scotland, and they need this. You can hear the crowd. They need to lift this here.
Poor old Belarus, still looking for just their second goal in the campaign, but thankfully for Scotland that is the case, because they're not covering themselves in glory again here this evening.
Well, poor old Marion Barbu, because he's having an absolute nuclear in the last few minutes.
So 1-0 Scotland after 65 minutes here. Scotland getting the benefit there of a VAR decision having been on the wrong end of one just a moment ago when they thought they had a penalty. That's a poor challenge on McKenna by Malashevich, who's probably pretty frustrated at having that goal taken away from him. He really slides in with
that's a yellow
control
card.
there. Yeah,
that is a yellow card,
but it's not,
and he's not given it.
Those are two incidences where the penalty kick that's not given and the free kick, I don't understand why the ref's not blown his whistle for them. Never mind VAR getting involved after the fact, but the defender throws himself into the back of Che Adams from the wrong side. For me, you give the penalty and then VAR can get involved and look at the finer details on it, and then that free kick, how he's missed that is incredible.
Here's Adams picking up in a good position, tries to slip it through here for Gilmour. He then goes down in the penalty area. He's claiming he was caught. Referee hasn't given anything. Pretty hopeful as well from Gilmour.
The defender gets the ball first and foremost, so for me I'm not sure that that's something that you could be given a penalty kick for.
It's out for a throw.
I think he's made the most of it, isn't he, Billy Gilmour? I think there is a little bit of contact and he goes down rather dramatically as well.
So getting a little bit niggly out there, right hand side. Scotland trying to get the ball in the box, and it's going to be a corner. Ralston felt he was caught as he tried to put the ball in, and it's all just fraying at the edges slightly as the tempers rise. Now we've got a yellow card out on that far side for one of the Belarus defenders who can't quite hit Peshanin by the looks of it.
I don't think that's a bad thing from our point of view, that the tempers are overflowing a little bit and the fans are getting a little bit vocal, and I think it'll help the players out there. I think it could lift the tempo as well. I do feel that the tempo's been better in the second half, but it still needs to be improved upon.
McGinn then right hand side with the corner kick to be taken, left footed, once the referee's satisfied with what's happening inside the penalty area, and it comes from McGinn again. Lapikov gets a decent fist to it, comes out as far as Robertson back to Gilmore. Gilmore tried to help it back into Robertson's path, but put too much on it, and it goes through to the goalkeeper. And it's still, after 68 minutes, Scotland 1, Belarus 0. Belarus haven't had an equaliser just a few minutes ago, chopped off just after Scotland had been denied a penalty, as now Adams picks up on a loose pass, and he and McTominay come forward. Here is McTominay, right hand side of the box. It's 2-on-2. He can't force it across goal. He will get the corner though, as the Tartan Army again get behind their team in search of that second goal.
It just lifts the whole atmosphere, doesn't it? You know, a little bit of controversy, referees making bad decisions, a little bit of physicality as well, players flying into tackles. And somehow it's lifted the spirit of the players as well. They're more up for the contest. It's dead simple though, you know. And I think that what they've got to do is they've got to find that in them, within themselves, without all this nonsense going on. And if they could do that, then they're going to be a much better team for for actually getting that kind of a mindset.
Corner kick from Andy Robertson again. Lapikov gets the fist to it. Picked up though by McGinn. He gets there ahead of Malashevich. Back out to the right hand side. Robertson slips it in for Gavin Doak. Across the goal, and there it is. Oh, it's offside. The flag is up on the far side. I think the Belarus players were claiming for handball as it was knocked into the net by Shea Adams, but I think the flag is up for offside against them instead. Either way, the goal has been chalked off. Shea Adams thought he had his second. No, the referee's pointing to his arm as well now, and it looks like that is what has been chalked off for. The assistant had his flag up on the far side, Michael, which is why I was saying offside, as Tierney and Suter are about to come on. Just looking at the replay, well, it was.
I think he's all. I think it's both, isn't it? Although it's more up at the top end of his arm, but the flag definitely went up. I think it has hit his.
Well,
maybe the bicep. I think his reaction as well is that he's hit it with his arm or he's offside. He didn't believe that it was a goal. He wasn't celebrating as though it was going to be given.
Offside is extremely tight. I'm not sure he is, so I think it would need to be a handball. And I think his first touch is up above the t-shirt line. I think it may well ricochet down onto his hand, but I'd want to be seeing a few more replays of it, to be honest, to know definitively.
I thought he was offside. I thought he had just went that little bit too early. It's a good cross, you know, and it's exactly what you have to do. Gannon Doak, where he drives it across the face, and Shea Adams manages. He can't get his head to it, but he manages to, just get it off his chest. It looked like from where we were sitting the chest, but when you see some of the replays, it might be the top above the shirt line. It's not been given anyway.
It's not been given. No. Here come those changes then, as Jack Hendry is taken off for John Suter. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Jack Hendry, not quite sure what the thinking will be behind that change. And Kieran Tierney is going to replace Tony Ralston. So what do we think about those changes? What's the rationale? Tierney looks like he's going to go and play right back.
Yeah, looks like it. We've discussed that before, haven't we? And we didn't think it was a starter, but Tierney is over there and he's playing in the right back area. It's not obviously the best result from his point of view, but he's experienced enough. I think he can handle that.
Malashevich from the right hand side sends a cross in. It's won there by Malnichenko, but comfortable take for Angus Gunn. I mean,
what about changes further up the park? We're winning 1-0 with 18 minutes to go, and we've changed to the back four. Whether Jack Hendry was feeling something, and likewise Anthony Ralston, I don't know, but
strange but true.
Here is Tierney on that right hand side, plays it forward to Ben Garendoak, plays it off Malnichenko, and out for a throw in to Scotland over on the far side. Still just 1-0, and the longer it goes 1-0, it could get a little bit nervy in the closing stages. Scotland, above all, do just need to win the game. It would certainly be nice if they could rack up a few goals in doing so, but
we were saying that before the game started. We've now got 18 minutes left, well, plus probably about, I'd imagine they're probably close to about 8 or 9 minutes when you think about the 3 VAR checks that have taken a long time before you start thinking about subs that have come on, added more time on that as well.
1-0 Scotland then with 73 on the clock. The ball's out of play here on the near side. It'll be interesting to hear what Billy Dodds is making of this second half so far. It started well, Billy. We're on the front foot, been looking pretty positive, but as I say, could just get that little bit nervier as long as it goes at 1-0.
The old adage, isn't it? We say it all the time, that second goal would be so important, because you see the way it's going now. We did start well in the second half, looks as if we'd go and get the second goal, didn't come. I think we were a wee bit fortunate as well. We'll talk about that at the end of the game, but it's now becoming nervy, and if you don't get that second goal, it was always going to do that. I think if they got the all-important second goal, I do really think they would run out to be 3-4-0 winners, but it's not come yet, and it'll be nervous times if we don't get one out from now until the end of the game.
We've never had great control of the game. If you've never got great control of the game, then you're going to, have a little bit of a disjointed performance. You're not going to create loads of opportunities. Just the midfield makeup for me, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it's been right.
McKenna plays it out looking for Ben Gannon-Doak. Neither he nor Peshanin can get there initially. Gannon-Doak claiming that had gone out of play as Gromyko nods that on, and looked like he was knocked to the ground there by McKenna. That's certainly his claim, and the referee felt there was nothing or not sufficient in it to award the free kick.
You just have to look at Gromyko, and he goes to the ground and he's looking for a free kick. Scott McKenna really strong there, good strong challenge. No free kick.
Gilmore has been penalised over his challenge on Malashevich on the halfway line.
I've got to say, the second half is disintegrating, and the game is so scrappy that when it was on edge, you're hoping that it'll fire the team up, but no, it's just become more disorganised, more disjointed, scrappy, and the fear is now with the game sitting at 1-0 that it just becomes one slip up and it's disaster zone stuff.
Forward it comes from Parkamenko down the right hand side. Malashevich, who had the goal chopped off for an infringement in the middle of the park in the build up to the equaliser. Back it comes to Parkamenko, and now Martinovic plays it square for Zabalin. He fires the diagonal out to Gromyko right hand side, brings it under control and steps in field. John McGinn's asking someone else to cover the run towards goal. McKenna makes an important challenge, and now McGinn will hold off a challenge but then lose out to a bong at the edge of the box. He will go for goal, takes a big deflection off Andy Robertson and behind for a corner kick. And these are the moments that Scotland have got to get through, having failed to get a second goal and added to the cushion they have.
Yeah, and the changes to the back four as well. There's a bit of uncertainty there. I thought Scott McKenna did really well with the initial block, and then John McGinn, you can see what he's trying to do. He's just basically trying to get himself up the park and the team up the park, but he showed too much to the opposite player, and he's got the little touch on it, and now you're looking to defend a corner at a crucial time.
Corner kick then from the left hand side, the out swinger. Zabalin gets something to it, but the knockdown comes to Andy Robertson. It's a pretty aimless use of the ball though from the captain, nowhere near linking with Gannon-Doak there. And Scotland have got to get their act together in the closing quarter of an hour here to ensure victory. 1-0 they lead going into the closing stages. It's Parkamenko and Belarus. Well, they've got absolutely nothing to lose, so they'll just go for it. They have played with a bit of freedom at times, and they've troubled the Scots at times as Gromyko picks up in the middle of the park. Scotland backing off, getting back into a shape to try and make life difficult for them, but you can hear what the Tartan Army think. They want the Scots to be doing the pressing and the attacking and looking for a second goal to kill Belarus off, but here they come down the left hand side. It comes to Malachenko, across comes Suter, slightly clumsy challenge, but both players go to ground and it rolls back the way into Angus Gunn, but the nerves just jangling slightly every time Belarus come forward. Here are the Scots on the right hand side. It's Tierney, nice turn away from his marker by Gannon-Doak. McTominay can't hold on to it though, no foul, and Bong picks up and plays it forward to Gromyko. Belarus coming forward once more. Suter steps out, played forward to Melnichenko on the left hand side of the box. Across goes McKenna, he's rolled it back the way, and then it's Melnichenko taking over again, the substitute into Bong at the edge of the box. He comes back the way. Belarus looking for a way through here. It's Gromyko finding Barkowski. He gets the shot off, but it's gone wide of target without a deflection, and it will be a goal kick. But well, Hampden letting the team know what they think of how things are going. Yes, they're leading by a goal to nil, but it's far from assured.
No, it's Belarus. It's playing all the football, and it's pretty easy in the eye as well, and productive. You know, if they need to go back, they will go back. Take their time. They've got plenty of patience, but they've been a threat going forward as well. As I might get slammed on the table from Mikey here. I can understand his frustration. I think the fans are frustrated as well. The players look frustrated too out there, and it's just looking like a disjointed performance now.
Yeah, it's almost a case of just
I'm not seeing any phases of play or patterns. You know, it's, as Willie's just said, it seems very disjointed. Now, you know, there's a few passes being played, trying to gain a bit of control, but I'm just not sure of the setup of the team to get the best out of, you know, some of the key players. I'm not sure we've done that tonight.
McTominay out to Tierney, right hand side, about 10 yards inside the Belarus half. 10 to play, it's 1-0 Scotland. And that 2-goal lead, or 2-goal win that you were all dismissing and not taking it early on, looks quite fanciful now.
The question wasn't, would you take a 2-0 lead goal finish when the score's 1-0 with 10 minutes to go?
Tierney bundled to the ground, and it will be a free kick to Scotland over on the far side, about 15 yards or so inside the Belarus half. Tierney's, I think, remonstrating with his teammates as to the options available to him as he was trying to come forward and look for a pass there. He wants to take the free kick a few yards in, further infield, and the offence was
I think it's
committed.
a throw-in.
No, it's got to be a free kick, isn't it? I think the referee's just telling
free kick,
yeah, the referee's just telling him to take it further out towards the touchline. Anyway, he takes it, and it's a poor pass for Gannon Doak, and so Belarus can clear, but not very well. And it's John McGinn now. John McGinn eyes one up, then he allows Robertson to come forward instead. He floats it to the back post. Gannon Doak tries to bring it under control, fails to do so first time, but he's managed to keep it in, or at least he did initially, and then he runs it out of play, and now he's going to remonstrate. He doesn't want to get booked here, Ben Gannon Doak, because he's on a yellow, and if he does get booked, he would miss Greece away, so he needs to just keep his mouth shut and accept the decision.
I think he's saying the whole of the ball wasn't over the line, and from where we are, I haven't got a great view of it, but it certainly looked that way.
Yeah, he might have a case, but he's just got to be sensible in his protestations, as Scotland should have probably had a free kick there, not once but twice. Eventually they do get one, and Maxi Bong goes into the referee's book for, I think, the second challenge there. The home fans not enjoying the challenges that went in there. Tierney's still down, slowly getting himself back to his feet as Maxi Bong enters the Romanian referee's notebook. Scotland have taken the free kick, and it's McTominay out to the right hand side for Gannon Doak, back into the feet of McTominay. He goes down, and again the referee on this occasion keeps his whistle silent. 82 on the clock. Scotland 1, Belarus 0. Far from convincing performance this from the Scots, who have ambitions of reaching the World Cup. Well, they're going to make hard work of it if they're going to do so. Lapikov's clearance there straight out of play. The throw-in can't be taken though immediately, because Belarus are going to make a couple of changes as Gleb Kuchko comes on for Malashevich, who had the goal chopped off, and then Nicholas Korzun is also going to come on for Gromyko, who has caused Scotland problems at times. So Korzun and Kuchko come on for the closing stages here. But we've got 7 minutes plus added on time to play. There could be a fair bit added on time, as Mikey was talking about there. Here's the throw-in taken. Robertson from the left hand side. His cross is cleared away by the captain Martinovic. Now McGinn picks up left hand side, turns away from his marker, tries to get it beyond Parnachenko. He manages to recover. Still McGinn in possession though. McTominay might just have left that there for Gilmore, but instead it comes back out to the left hand side. Robertson teases it back in. Here's a chance. There's the goal from Scott McTominay, and that should wrap things up. That should settle the nerves. That should seal the 3 points. Far from convincing, as I say, but it is. Scotland 2, Belarus 0.
He's taking it really well though, isn't he? It's Andy Robertson gets himself forward. He picks McTominay out. It kind of like comes to him round about his midriff, and he has to do a fair bit of work to get it under control and then drive it into the back of the net from what, maybe about 10 yards out or so, but that settles everything down. It hasn't been a top performance, that's for sure, but at the end of the day that second goal should settle the nerves, and let's hope in the last closing a few minutes of the game. John McGinn does it extremely well, doesn't he, and shows a lot of composure just to keep the ball moving. I think he is. He's trying to pass it to Billy Gilmore and it's intercepted, but it works out fine for us because then McTominay just takes it down with his chest, and what a drill that is, isn't it, with the left foot into the corner. 2 extremely well taken goals.
Here come Belarus though, and that's deflected just over the bar by the flying John Suter there as Belarus looked to respond. McTominay's finish was a fine one, and it's his 13th goal for his country. He was so crucial, his goal scoring in Euro qualifying, and he stepped up to the plate here tonight when Scotland really needed a goal to clinch the victory here. Still got a few minutes to see out, and they've got some defending to do from the corner over on the left hand side here as Peshinin sends it in. It's going to come all the way for Melnichenko. Good block there made by John Suter, putting his body on the line to make the block at the edge of the box, but Belarus have it back left hand side. Peshinin sends it in again, attacked by Martinovic. Scotland get it half clear and then sliced well wide in the end, and it'll be a Scotland goal kick. John Suter takes a couple of congratulatory hand slaps in there for the initial block he made, and it will remain with 85 on the clock here at Hampden. Scotland 2, Belarus 0.
It's been an interesting evening, hasn't it? Yeah, I don't know how I know how Steve Clarke will sum it up, is that it's a victory, and that's the most important thing, and the 3 points are the most important aspect of it. But it's been another performance that probably has more questions to be answered than has been answered.
Adams gives chase out of his goal. Comes the goalkeeper. Andy Robertson's taking the throw in quickly into Gilmore. Keeper's off his line. Gilmore's just over the top though. Had to go for it quickly and just couldn't get the elevation correct as the goalkeeper dashed back towards his goal, having cleared for the throw in, which was cleverly taken quickly by Robertson, but Gilmore just got his angles wrong, and it remains Scotland 2, Belarus 0.
He'll be disappointed, won't he, because that's a big opportunity for him, Gilmore, and you know the quality that he's got. I would have put my money on him. He's been able to get that accurate clip over the top of the goalkeeper.
Not a renowned goal scorer, you would have to say, but nonetheless, here's Melnichenko at the other end, right across goal, no takers in the middle, as Belarus continue to look menacing at times here against Scotland, who are about to make a couple of changes. Lyndon Dykes will come on here, as well as Lennon Miller. We're going to get a final few minutes. Doesn't give Lyndon Dykes or Lennon Miller all that much time to influence the game, but on they will come. Billy Gilmore, having just missed that opportunity a moment ago, will make way for the Udinese midfielder Lennon Miller, and Shea Adams, having opened the scoring, will be replaced by Lyndon Dykes for the final few minutes. So it does go down as one of his better appearances, Mikey, in a Scotland jersey for sure.
Shea Adams?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, but this sub could have been made about 15 minutes ago, because you could see that he's worked his socks off. You've got viable options there as well. You want to keep the energy levels up. So yeah, but I don't think there's any doubt. He scored a good goal. His all-round game was as good as I've seen in a Scotland jersey from Shea Adams. Lyndon
Dykes scoring the third goal in injury time. the gift given to him by the Greek goalkeeper the other evening. As Scotland win themselves a throw-in on this. Actually, it's going to be a free kick, is it? Yeah, a free kick just down below us to be taken by Andy Robertson. Belarus going to just make a couple of late changes of their own imminently, but not quite yet, as Tierney picks up on the right hand side, plays it infield to Gannon Doak. He spins and plays it back to Tierney. McTominay surely offside as he chases this anyway, and the flag stays down for the moment. It is McTominay into the penalty area, still in possession, rolls it back looking for Gannon Doak. Now the flag goes up. Yeah, it looked well off at the time, and indeed the assistant referee putting up the belated flag, as here come those further changes for Belarus, as both Nikita Demchenko and Sergei Karpovich will come on. Goals here by Shea Adams and Scott McTominay proving to be the difference on the night. Let's see who's coming off for Belarus. It's going to be Martinovic first of all, and then also his fellow defender Parkomenko, who survived a penalty shout earlier on. As Steve Clark just has a word with John McGinn before this free kick for offside can be taken by Belarus. Midway inside their own half, and as we head towards added on time here, and another late change coming for Scotland, and it's going to be Kieran Bowie who will come on. Let's wait and see who he's going to replace here. And Scotland look to add another 3 points to their tally, which takes them on to 10. It'll take them clear at the top of the table for a while at least. It's going to be Ben Gannon Doak to be replaced. Certainly showed in flashes, Willie, just why we're all so enthusiastic about his future in a Scotland jersey.
Yeah, and he's only going to get better as well, you know, with experience, with game time. But that pace is frightening, really difficult to pin down. Body movement as well, trick or two. But he needs to show, you know, calmness in front of goals when he gets himself into these areas. Just the quality of that final decision making perhaps has got to improve, but he's certainly young enough, and he's one for the present and the future.
Kieran Bowie makes his second Scotland appearance and his first in this World Cup qualifying campaign, having made his debut against Liechtenstein.
And he's playing left wing.
Yeah, for the final few minutes. We've got 8 minutes added on at the end here. We've already played one of those here this evening, as Belarus pick up in the middle of the park through Korzun. Lyndon Dykes playing through the middle for Scotland in that role that was occupied by Shea Adams, and as Mikey says, Kieran Bowie's been asked to play on the left flank at the moment, at least, as the ball's played into the heart of the Scotland defence, and then takes a big deflection there. Maxi Bong's effort was Suter again, trying to get his body in the way, and could have spun anywhere behind for a Belarus corner. And that 2-0 scoreline looking more and more like it's going to be the final one, but here Belarus looking to try and get themselves a goal. It'd be difficult to argue they don't deserve at least a consolation, as Bowie though gets his head to it at the near post. Scotland get it half clear, but helped back out to the left hand side and swung into the penalty area, and Gunn will gather that one pretty comfortably, and will allow his teammates to get up the park here. 2-0 Scotland lead. A couple of minutes of added on time played, 8 in total to be added, as McGinn, who's gone out to that right hand side since Gannon Doak's departure. Now it's picked up by Lyndon Dykes. Dykes slips it to his right hand side. It's McTominay. That come off the arm of Zabeline, as it's back out to McTominay off the defender. Now it's McGinn once more, right hand side, turns away from a couple and he dinks it in. It's over the keeper. Kieran Bowie gets something on it, but he couldn't direct it on target, and the keeper recovers to grab that one and immediately bowls it out. Still, after 3 minutes of added on time, Scotland 2, Belarus 0.
It's not an easy one for Bowie to take, though, is it? I mean, he's going back away from goal there, and he's got to try and manufacture something with the header. But good work from John McGinn. A couple of little dinks down that right-hand side, and I think ball towards the back post just wasn't accurate enough, perhaps.
Here come Belarus looking to try and threaten once more. The ball towards the edge of the box is cleared by Tierney. That'll be comfortably picked up though by Zabalin. And he plays it out from the back once more, out to the right hand side, and it's picked up by Karpovic, one of the Belarusian substitutes. Into Bong and back with Zabalin once more at the edge of the centre circle. He plays it square for Martinovic, who I thought had been taken off, but I think they must have changed that to Parkamenko at the time. Swung to the far side here as Belarus continue to attack. Left hand side up against Tierney. It's laid back to Pechenin, and Karpovic right on the byline, couldn't direct it back across goal or indeed on target, just swipes it behind for a Scotland goal kick. This game is rather petering out here, but Scotland at least heading for victory, heading on to 10 points and heading into the final 2 games against Greece away and then Denmark here, knowing that they could be on the cusp of World Cup qualification. But I think it has to be said, they will need to be better than this, and from the performance the other night, going into these final 2 games.
Do we? Can always be lucky again.
This is true. You would have thought
you would hope that would be better than the last 2 performances.
I wouldn't disagree with you, Al. It was firmly tongue-in-cheek. It's been far from scintillating, free-flowing attacking football, that's for sure.
Belarus have it in the middle of the park. It's Korzun playing it forward, and that's a lovely little touch. There's a chance here, and there is a goal there. Belarus do have one back as the substitute Gleb Kuchko pokes it beyond Angus Gunn. That's a really well taken goal. He slipped away from his marker really tidily, and we could yet have a very nervy final few minutes here as Belarus do notch a goal here, having had one chopped off earlier on. Gleb Kuchko comes off the bench to make it Scotland 2, Belarus 1, his first goal for his country.
He does really well though, and Andy Robertson, you know, he's got to be better than that, Andy, with the experience that he's got. Kuchko, a lovely little touch round the corner there, and it's a magnificent finish as well. Pretty calm and cool, but for me, Andy's got to do better. He's got to see that ball coming across, got to get himself in front of the ball rather than allowing his opponent to get there first.
Here come Belarus again, all of a sudden looking for a leveller. It's Melnichenko who's made a mess of the cross. He holds his head in his hands as he lies sprawled out on the turf there. But well, you know, you go back to the goal that's chopped off. Robertson, I think, was probably at fault at the back post for that one, as well as that one was swept in, and certainly he was caught on his heels there. Not playing regularly at Liverpool, perhaps nonetheless you would still expect him to be smart enough to be aware of the danger, but Kuchko nipped in, moved away from him and planted it past Angus Gunn for his first Belarus goal and just his second appearance for his country. And Hampden, well, now they're just willing the final whistle, I think. 2-1, and goal difference for the moment doesn't matter a jot, just about holding on to these 3 points. And there's Belarus coming forward on the left hand side once more. And surely they cannot find a second goal and put a massive dent in Scotland's World Cup hopes, but it's Zabalin coming forward now on the right hand side. Rolled back there by Barkowski. And now Korzun. Scotland get everyone behind the ball as the goal scorer Kuchko into Barkowski at the edge of the box, tries to squeeze the shot between a couple of players. Scotland block that, and now will come forward to Lennon Miller. Lennon Miller crossing the halfway line. Scotland just need to hold on to the ball now. It's all about experience here, which John McGinn uses to step away from the challenge and keep the ball and play it to Robertson, who's played a slack pass to Bowie. He looks shattered out there, Andy Robertson, and He gets away with that as it slid out of play. Scotland, they played the 8 minutes of added on time. They will take the full-time whistle any time now, if you don't mind, referee. There's another performance which has left much to be desired, but the 3 points hopefully coming Scotland's way as Bowie can't get onto the throw-in from Robertson. Can Belarus manufacture one final attack? It's hammered out to the left-hand side by Korzun. McGinn, tracking his man, just brings him to the ground, knows that he just needs to stop the play. The free kick's quickly taken though, into Korzun, just inside their own half. It's now or never for Belarus. Scotland have got to hold out here. Out to the right-hand side it comes, as Belarus try to mount one final attempt on goal here from the edge of the penalty area. In it comes, McTominay with a clearing header. Belarus will clear once more, and there is the final whistle. Thank goodness for that. Well, the Tartan Army are really unsure how to react to that. Absolute relief at actually getting the victory in the end, when most had come here hoping and some even expecting a barrel load of goals. That certainly did not materialise. One in each half for Scotland. The first one came early through Shea Adams, a fabulous finish to get Scotland off and running, and we certainly hoped at that point that that would be the cue for further good attacking from Scotland, but it didn't really come to anything, and it took them a long time to eventually get the second goal, when Scott McTominay provided another good finish from inside the penalty area with 84 on the clock to make it 2-0. We thought then that that would do it, but then Kuchko in stoppage time popped up with a Belarus goal to really set the nerves jangling for the final few minutes of added on time. But thankfully Scotland got across the line, and I suppose when you look back on it, it won't matter how they did it. They got the 3 points. They moved top of the group for now, with Denmark to play Greece later on. It finishes at Hampden with Scotland on 10 points. Scotland 2, Belarus 1.